Hey, Skullomania here with more Spelunky. Wowie Kazowie. Alright, we are just going to get right off with it. Hopefully progress to a viable stage. Not viable, everything's viable. I mean, we have plenty of opportunities within the game to get good, as they say. What I want is a place within the game that I can be proud of. A place within the game where I can receive applause, where I can receive honors from local institutions of merit and productivity. That probably won't be the case, though. However, in my dreams, I want my dreams to at least be satisfied, because my dreams very, very high standard. I'm talking not about my fantasies, but my actual, my sleep dreams, what is the word for sleep? I forget, the Greek one. I'm disappointed with myself already. My dreams are not abated, not now, not ever. Never again. Well, we'll just say that my subconscious is desiring a little achievement within this playthrough to really give me something to hope for when I sleep. You know, I'll go to bed, you know, thinking, wow, I did a good job in Spelunky today, and my mind will wholeheartedly agree and just give me a dream where I rock the fuck out in Spelunky. And you know what that's going to do? That's going to improve my confidence with the game overall. I'm not going to make that jump. I'll probably just end up falling into the spike pit, not taking it. Nope, wait. No, you can't convince me. And afterwards, I'll have more confidence and I'll be able to play Spelunky more skillfully. Since video games, surprisingly, are a lot more about confidence than you think. I mean, what happens when you're nervous, when you feel bad about your ability to play a game? You're going to screw up a lot more because you're telling yourself, wow, I am Master Scrublord, missing that one bar of gold. I deserve no forgiveness from Kali, the Spelunky goddess. Ironically, the goddess of death as well, in the Hindu pantheon. Guess we're not getting that precious gold. See the steam. Alright, we're going to have to... Alright, there. We got the mistress. We got the damsel. We got a decent amount of gold. We might have expended more of our resources than we want, but it puts us in a good position. Alright, now we're in 1-2. A little bit more hectic. We got these little dangle-doos over here. There we go. Owned. Not owned. This is the second time I've criticized myself for saying owned in the entire series, which is only 2 episodes, 3 if you count this. So I suppose somebody doesn't learn from their mistakes. Alright, we're going to put a bomb down here, then we're going to go get that key. Key's valuable, delicious, golden. Here's a song by this band called Spandau Ballet. Yeah, Spandau, something like that. You know, your typical British new wave band in suits, like they're the fucking new Beatles or some shit. And it's a good song. It was in Vice City's soundtrack. And, New Wave was the name of the station, ironically enough. Ironically, that's what it's meant to be named, because it's a new wave station. However, it's a very good song, and it's a song... The music video is about some fucking treasure hunt, but the song's lyrics are motivational. It's talking about how, you know, I believe in you, you are gold, gold. And it's sort of like this cheerful song about this guy motivating the person he's watching struggle with life, be a beautiful person all during it. And I wish I had that playing right now. I wish there was an option for a custom Spelunky soundtrack in which I could put on my I'm out of bombs. Whatever, we don't need bombs. We can do a pacifist run. Oh god, I won't be able to get that mistress either, I think. Well, we'll double check it. I think we got time. Yep, we can't get her. The best laid plans of mice and men often go awry. That's Robert Burns, Scottish poet. Oh God! Oh, that wasn't a best laid plan. That was a plan that tripped the fuck up on itself and fell into some spikes, you know? We're going to get items. We're going to sedate ourselves. Fuck it, why not? Alright, we bought his entire inventory. Some of those items more useful than others. The camera, probably the least useful. However, we're going to roll with it. Because what it does is it stuns any enemy you want. And that stun can be of great assistance, especially when fighting enemies like bats, because bats auto-die from cameras. Something about, you know, vampires not being able to see themselves in pictures. Alright, we'll come back for you, Mr. Man. Okay, maybe we won't go that way. There's a lot of traps, a lot of connivances on the part of the... Okay, wise guy. Killed the bat. Alright, good. Now we're using the arrows to dispel the arrows. It's a very self-feeding process. Auto-cannibalistic, you might call it. Such as the Austrian School of Economics describes the capitalist system. I learned that in 10th grade. I have no reason to remember it. And I should know it of my own merit rather than of school, because I am not a firm believer in public education doing much for you other than training you for a life as a drone, as a zombie within the system. You can see that stance has brought me much fortune. But I digress. There was this philosopher, and I believe he was a Austrian professor, as most philosophers are. And he believed that the capitalist system had to undergo a self-feeding process, that it had to continually destroy things that it was a part of in order to continue to prosper and function, and that when it did not, when it was within a peaceful system, regardless of whether or not there was a war going on or something like that, because the auto-cannibalism could occur within peacefulness too, that it would stagnate and die out, and that's what would lead to economic crises. Because capitalism needs something to eat. It needs to eat the wealth of people in order to provide wealth to other people. And I find that philosophy true, because when the fat cats or the eager businessmen make money, it's either on the backs of their corporate serfs or on the backs of other businessmen which have failed to compete. Now, there's varying stages of capitalism, from laissez-faire to corporatism, which you can describe as not even a capitalist system, but they all need to impoverish somebody. So it's impossible for everybody to succeed within capitalism. You have to keep destroying people's fortunes, people's lives. And it's a very cynical way to look at things, but if you're of the belief that no other economic policy works, then that just makes it even more cynical, because basically the only way to ensure continued civilized life is to cause misfortune to some people, which destroys the very liberal idea of equality and justice for all. I mean, oh God, no! Oh, the game decided it had enough of my dissident talk, and it used its hired out police force to deal with my protests. Oh my God. Oh man. The only thing I have to be proud of is that I managed to ramble about economics for a good while. It wasn't just a one-off. However, that's not really Spelunky's style. I should have concentrated on the gameplay a bit more, and I think that's the reason I got totally fucking owned. But I also blame my fucking climbing gloves, because they make you stick to walls where you rather wouldn't. Ruins your tempo. However, that's that. I hope you enjoyed it, folks. Bye-bye.